Morning, welcome to
Family Math number 85.
Okay, today we're going to talk about triangles and duplo blocks, okay?
Yep.
Alright, so we have talked just a little tiny bit about triangles, about right triangles. And if this is the base and this is the height, what is the area of this triangle? Do you know?
1/2 base times height.
Have you ever heard that before?
No.
No? Okay, so it's a new 1/2 base times height. Oops. Base, B, capital B, height, capital H. So the way you find the area of a triangle is you figure out what the base is, you figure out what the height is, you multiply them together, and you divide by 2.
Cool.
Okay? Now that kind of looks like the area of a rectangle, right? Where you take the area of the base times the area of the height.
Yeah. Okay,
so we're going to see if we can figure out if this seems to work with duplo blocks, or is it close, or is it not close, or whatever. Okay, so give me some duplo blocks. Give me a 1x1 and a 2x1. Okay, so I call this a 1x1, and I'll call this a 2x1. Okay, so what we're going to slowly do is build up some triangles, and we're going to find what the area would be if it was a triangle, and we're going to find what the area would be if we pretend each one of these 1x1 duplo blocks has area of 1. Okay, so our first triangle we'll make. I should double check if it's on screen here. Yeah, I guess this is on screen. Okay, so this is with 2 duplo blocks. Or sorry, it's too long, and too high, not with 2 duplo blocks.
What is with 2 duplo blocks?
Well, it does happen to be with 2 duplo blocks, but that won't always be the case. And so what's the area of this shape? If this has area 1, how many of these do I need to make this shape?
You need 3, so
I need 3. And if I had a triangle that was too long and too high, a right triangle, what would its area be?
It would be just 2.
2. It'd be 2 times 2, which is?
2 is 4.
And then divide by 2, right?
It's 2.
Okay, so the area of the triangle would be 2. So the triangle, and then here's our duplo. Okay, now let's make it 3 high. So I need 3 duplo blocks. Give me greens.
All right.
Sweet. All right. So now I have 1 plus 2 plus 3. So how many? What's the area of this?
Well,
It's 3 high and 3 long, and its area in duplo blocks is?
It's 6.
6. Very good. What would the area of this triangle be that was 3 long and 3 high if it was a perfect triangle?
It's 1/2 3 times 3, or half of 9, which is 4 1/2.
4 1/2. Very good. Okay. Now let's do it with 4 layers. Okay. How about blue?
All right.
Okay. So now our duplo triangle is 4 long and 4 high, even though it's not a perfect triangle, right? Okay, so if this, how many duplos does it take to make this triangle? It's got 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Well, 14. So.
Well, how'd you figure that out?
Well, actually, it's 10.
It's 10. I just added 4 to my 6.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, and then what would the area of this be? If this was a triangle, it'd be 4 long, 4 high.
Well, it's 1/2 4 times 4, or half of 16, which is 8.
8, okay. Now let's do it with 5. Okay, can you figure out what the area is going to be here when I put 5 on at the bottom? So it's 5 long and 5 high?
Well, the duplo area.
The duplo area.
So it's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5.
Yeah?
Well, it's 15. Yeah.
15, very good.
And then
all I did was add 5 on to the 10 I had before, so I got 15. And then 5 times 5 is?
Times 5 is 25.
25 divided by 2 is?
That is 12.5.
Good job. Okay, let's do one more layer, and then we'll do an ultra triangle. Okay, I like it. Hey, is that a 6? Okay, perfect. So this triangle is 6 long and 6 high, if we pretend each one of those is one block. So what's the duplo area?
The duplo area is 15. It's 21.
21, good job.
The actual area.
The actual area is 36 times 6 divided by 2, which is 18. Good job. Now, we do see a little bit of a pattern here. Can you see any relationship between the numbers in this column, our duplo area, and the actual area of the triangle column? First we had 3 and 2, then we had 6 and 4.5, then we had 10 and 8, 15, 12.5, 21 and 18.
Well, the difference is 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. The next one should be 3.5.
Next one's probably going to be 3.5. So the area is actually, it's pretty close, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I went out to 100, and we don't have time to go all the way out to 100, right? Why not?
Because that would take a long time.
Also, we probably don't have enough duplo blocks because the duplo area, if I went all the way out to 100, do you know what that would be?
Well, it would be 50, 50, 50.
Good job. 50, 50. And now a triangle that was 100 times 100 and then divided by 2, what would its area be?
100 times 50, or it's 100 times 5,000.
5,000. Awesome. Do you understand why 100 times 50 is 5,000?
Because 100 times. Wait, 100 times 100. That should.
100 times 100 is 10,000.
Yeah. And then you divide it by 2 is 5,000.
Yeah. So there you go. So you can see how the duplo areas are very, very close to the actual areas of the triangle. You see that? It's actually pretty interesting, right?
Yeah.
And do you see why it's an overestimate, why our duplo area is always a little bit bigger? Do you see how our triangle, if we drew it, would slice down here, and we're over counting by a little bit every time? Do you see that? Do you see why it's too big?
Well, because you have to take off these bits.
Yeah, so I'm going from this corner to this corner, so I have to take off the tips. It's probably easiest to see it with just one block, right? If I'm trying to make a triangle out of this, the triangle looks like this, and I've overcounted this extra part.
Yeah.
And when I have 2 blocks, I've overcounted this extra part and that extra part.
Yeah.
So I'm always a little bit higher, but you can sort of get the feel, even just from the duplo blocks, why the area of this triangle is 1/2 base times height. The numbers are very similar. Is that neat?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so tomorrow for Family Math 86, we're going to do 3 dimensions. We're going to make a pyramid. We're going to try to find the volume of pyramids and see if we can guess what number we divide by. Okay? All right, high five, guys. Good job today. Good job.